Let's move on to another principle. Engagement. Engaging your followers. Because remember, we talked about this whole concept as the smartphone as a tool for engagement. How do you engage people on a smartphone? Well, let's go to UC Berkeley. This is called the Campanile. Beautiful building. You could be walking around UC Berkeley, which is a very historical campus, not knowing much about it, but thanks to Foursquare, you have a mobile tour guide. You're at the Campanile, built in 1914. Third largest bell tower in the world. Okay, I mean, these are all interesting tips that the marketing people at the campus and at Berkeley have actually created for you, all across the campus. This is just a coffee shop. I thought it was just a coffee shop, right? No, this is actually the epicenter of the free speech movement, and you can learn more about it by going inside and grabbing a bite to eat and learning all about the very historical free speech movement that started in Berkeley in the 1960s. Now, it's not just
Carmine,
a coffee shop. It's kind of interesting. It's all about engagement. Yes.
What I'm seeing here is that, if you go back to what we started with, we have to say, Foursquare has to be fun. And I know that, one concern is, well, my brand isn't fun. Not every brand in the world is fun. But I think this is sort of a broader definition of fun. Like, fun can be interesting. Fun can be useful. I think that, if your brand isn't Nickelodeon, if your brand is more serious than that, if you're still offering value via Foursquare, via, a deal or even just information, that you could be successful with this.
I think that's a really good point. Thanks for bringing that up. Because fun is so much more than, being whimsical or corny. Fun is just providing interesting tidbits of information that you don't get anywhere else. Like that whole Corcoran group and the Shake Shack. It's not fun in a Nickelodeon type of way, but it's fun for a real estate firm, right?
Definitely.
And that's exactly what Christina Sponselli said. She is the social media director at Berkeley. Engagement is what we're doing. We're building a real relationship in a virtual space. Let's talk about rewards. You got to reward people, and this is where Foursquare shines. You can reward the mayor. Again, the mayor, the person who checks in the most times. They're very loyal. Naveen Selvadurai is the co-founder of Foursquare. He said when you're the mayor, you might be the coolest person in the room for 5 minutes, and who doesn't want recognition? So how do some companies recognize people? Well, travel to Miss Shirley's in downtown Baltimore. Miss Shirley's is known for its southern cooking, like this, chicken and waffles. Don't ask about the calories. These are so popular that the line has been known to stretch for 2 hours on a weekend for brunch. So Miss Shirley's is on Foursquare, and it actually has these little flyers explaining what it means to be the mayor of Foursquare and how to sign up for Foursquare. But what Miss Shirley's does, speaking of having fun, the mayor gets to cut to the front of the line. That's fun. The mayor of Miss Shirley's always gets to the front of the line. They have a special line just for the mayor, and the mayor can bring 3 of his or her friends. That's different. That's unique. That's rewarding people. Tasty Delight is finding, we want to talk about ROI. Here's some ROI. Tasty Delight is finding that 17 to 20% of their customers check in to Foursquare. So 17 to 20% are using Foursquare, and that those customers are among their most loyal customers. Tasty Delight, the chain of ice cream stores in the Midwest and on the East Coast. They're recognizing their mayors. In each store, there is digital signage with the Foursquare mayor. Say hello to our mayor. His name is Chet. Chet, thanks for being a loyal patron. Isn't that interesting? So the minute he loses that mayorship, somebody else will go up on the sign. B.J. Emerson is the head of technology at Tasty Delight. He said the spirit of what we're doing on Twitter, Facebook, and Foursquare, very different from what traditional marketers have been doing for years. And I think by rewarding people, you're going to be able to knock out the competition. It's going to give you a leg up, especially if you're a medium-sized business. Let me give you an example of that.
Well, Carmine, before you...
Yeah, go ahead.
Carmine, I did have one question that came in about rewarding people, and this is somewhat of a tactical question, but I thought it was interesting for people who haven't used Foursquare before, is how do you actually reward people? are like when they check in and have earned this reward, is it best to give them a coupon code, or do they have to show you their phone to say that they've unlocked something? Like, how do you actually have a customer get the reward via Foursquare?
Yeah, the simplest thing to do, the simplest thing, which most of the successful ones do, is remember, it's got to be active. It's got to be engagement. Show us your phone. So if you haven't used Foursquare, you may not be able to visualize it, but when you actually check in and you tap the special, it unlocks the special. And with the latch off, it's unlocked the special. And then you could just show it to the server. But you can actually give the directions in the actual on the actual page. You can create a special and actually give the directions to getting the special, being rewarded in the context or in the text of the special. So you can say, congratulations, you just won your free appetizer for unlocking this special. Show your phone to the server and enjoy. But that does take training too, folks. So we got to talk about that. We'll talk about that in a moment. You got to make sure your employees know about it. Great story. AJ Bomber's Milwaukee restaurant. In 2008, Joe Sorge, the owner of AJ Bombers, he was facing tough times. He was struggling in 2008. So he dedicated himself to learning social media, Twitter, Facebook, and then Foursquare. Foursquare totally took him over the top. In fact, when you walk into AJ Bombers, you can even see right on their computers our Foursquare page, how many people are checking in. They've created Foursquare theme parties. Because with Foursquare, remember I said you have those loyalty specials or swarm specials? If 50 people check in at the same time, everybody gets something. He started holding Foursquare parties. He had hundreds of people checking in to get their free stuff. But it just kept growing and growing and growing. And he just sent me an email not too long ago, and Joe said he's expanding to Madison, and he's looking to expand to other cities too. This is during a recession. He's doing well. But it's Foursquare he attributes to about 30 to 50% of his success. The rest to the other social media sites. Great page here, folks. This is what Joe sees. This is the free data that you can get when you're on Foursquare, when you're a merchant on Foursquare. Key metrics, top visitors, when people are checking in, what time of day are they checking in. You can even get your most recent check-ins. You have Twitter handles for the mayors and for your top visitors. You can thank them via Twitter. Send a special promotion via Twitter. It's all tied together. Twitter, Facebook, Foursquare now. Let me give you another great story. This is a small shop in the East Village that sells lobster sandwiches. Well, Luke Holden is the owner of this place. Luke told me that when he started, he didn't have any money for advertising, so he got onto Foursquare. Within 2 years, he had 11,000 check-ins. He's now on his 6th store in Manhattan. There's me and Luke. I was videotaping some stuff with him. Very nice guy. Actually quit his job on Wall Street to open his own restaurant, so one of these guys who's following his passion. Here's what the check-in. Here's what his page looks like. He's got the special there, which I believe on that particular day is just, check in and get a discount on a sandwich. But the mayor gets a free lobster roll every day, once a day. So there's the mayor, Christopher, and a bunch of tips and a whole lot of photographs. This all becomes searchable too, folks. It helps with your search engine optimization. But here's what Luke said. For a small business like mine, mobile is traditional advertising. Let's talk about, we have a little time left. I just want to wrap up with a couple of other key points. Incentivize your customers. You can give them incentives for coming in. I remember my wife and I not too long ago, we were in a totally new town. I'd never been there before, so I opened Foursquare looking for a place to go. Welcome to Ghirardelli. It had a chocolate factory outlet literally around the corner from where we were. Check in and receive 20% off your entire purchase. Oh, and I went to town. We bought chocolate, I bought these great sundaes, but my wife ended up buying quite a bit of merchandise. And I wonder, And I'm sure, obviously there's psychology behind this, but by giving that 20%, she ended up buying a lot more than she would have otherwise if we didn't get a coupon. So again, you're incentivizing people into doing some sort of behavior. You can even incentivize people to do good. There's a nonprofit called Earth Justice that actually incentivizes people by getting you to check in to a billboard. It wasn't giving you a discount, it was making a donation. Every time you checked into a billboard, and the billboard had different environmental campaigns on it, an anonymous donor would donate $10 to the cause. They raised $50,000 in 2 weeks. So there's an incentive to do good. You may want to create an incentive to come in on certain times of the week. This is a incredible cupcake shop that I discovered recently in New York City. Welcome to Crumbs. The mayor receives one free cupcake every Friday. Now, if I were the mayor of that place, that's serious, because those are serious cupcakes. But you see how it grows virally, because if you unlock a special, that's actually connected to your friends on Twitter and Facebook. That's how it grows. Let me give you an ROI. The head of marketing at Radio Shack said, customers who unlock Foursquare specials, and Radio Shack has a couple of specials like these. What is this one? Check in, get 10% off your qualifying purchase. Customers who check in and unlock these specials spend 3.5 times more than the average Radio Shack customer. Straw Hat Pizza is a small pizza chain in Northern California. What they are finding is that their campaign, if they run the same campaign on Foursquare, Facebook, email, Foursquare actually generates a better return than Facebook and email combined. But what they do at Straw Hat is they give you some pretty powerful incentives to come in. In this particular one, walk in, buy a drink, and get a free pizza. See, so that kind of twists the whole thing around. Most pizza places buy a pizza, get a free drink, or get a discount on a drink. They've flipped it around totally, and they're finding that people are actually doing that. Sweet Tomatoes, which is another very large chain of the salad places, they're finding the same thing, that their check-ins are going up every week. Every day people are checking in. And again, they just do something very simple. Show this phone to your cashier, get 15% off lunch. But what's interesting to me about this story is that they're actually using Foursquare to engage people on other social media sites as well. So when they see that you checked in on Foursquare and you're sharing it to Twitter, they'll actually thank you via Twitter. Foursquare, along with our other social media tools, helps you maintain an ongoing conversation with your customers.